Well, hi, everybody. I'm John McKay from 1Talon. I run the semi-pack division. That's the semiconductor packaging of we do everything from sensors, very high-end clients, global foundries, GE Medical, Samsung, Siemens Healthcare. We have been involved in sensors for quite a few years. So what we're here to talk to you today about is blood testing. Done some catheter projects with GE, and we realized that there was a big gap in the industry. And that gap was testing moving out of the labs. The labs have basically owned blood testing for the last 20 years. Now we're moving to a point where it's more handheld units. And what we saw was handheld units were actually not getting it right. And the reason they're not getting it right is because the engineers over at Abbott are brilliant guys. They love complexity, but they've made these appliances so complex that the people that actually use them are overwhelmed by them. I now give this appliance to a nurse. She has to calibrate it. She has to know how to run the error codes. She has to do the simulations each day in order to be qualified as an FDA approved appliance. That now falls on the hospital to do. So what we looked at was taking all of our sensor innovations, moving them into the syringe or into a handheld unit that could actually do the blood test in real time. This now alleviated all of those complexities because our device is actually disposable, 100% disposable. So there's no reusing, there's no recalibration, there's no certification, there's no record keeping. We simply open the package, the device turns on, the nurse handles it like she always did, puts the sharp on it, takes the blood sample. As soon as there's an available blood, the sensors take the reading, no buttons, no calibrations, no overhead. We think this is the game changer that will change point of care testing. Effortless blood draws. The hospital staff is busy. They don't have time to handle all of these electronic overheads. It took us everything for the last 10 years that we've worked on, wafer level packaging, wafer level testing, all of our sensor integrations to build this thing cost effectively. We have now got this bill of materials and assembly costs down below 10 bucks. That was our target. It took us quite a bit of time to actually achieve that. Our sensors are the best in class. Working with top companies in the world have allowed us to work with some of the biggest companies, TDK. These guys are making all the sensors in your cell phones. We're doing the packaging for them. We do the packaging, the validation in real time on our line. If you look over to the left, you see our sensors next to a ballpoint pen. So these are the smallest implantable sensors on the planet Earth. We have interesting ways to actually capture the data. We just capture it on a cell phone. So we don't have wireless inside our devices. We keep it really cost effective that way. We're the only disposable on the market. Everybody else uses a cartridge, and we think that is where the adoption has failed. The market, right now, Abbott sells 50,000 of these handheld boxes a year. They sell 40 million cartridges. We think that that market will explode based on our ability to be portable out in the field. And so bringing one of these devices to a crisis, a tsunami event, it's already lost. somebody walks off with it. And so we think this disposable, really cost effective, really changes those marketplaces. I always thought that the MRI was the greatest thing that was ever invented in medicine. It allows a doctor to see inside a patient. He can do all this diagnosis. What I was amazed to find working with GE was that blood tests are actually 600 times more often prescribed than an MRI. When you look at the market sizes for point of care, it's over $2 billion in 2021. we're looking at 10% penetration of that. Our product, we think, has 3 major market segments to go after. Field medicine, where you have large animals, you can't relocate those animals easy. We're out there in the field getting the data right away. Pharmaceutical test labs need really small blood samples, or they make their animals anemic, and it really affects their results. And then human use and in crisis situations. And one of the basic fundamentals of this technology will allow a blood test to be drawn in the emergency to the hospital. This will be the first time when the doctors actually receive the patient, they will already have a trend line. And right now they have 1 data point. Patient comes in, we have a data point. We won't get another one for about 30, 45 minutes. So is the patient stable? Are we losing him? Do we need intervention? This device will allow the first data point to be taken in flight. The second data point immediately upon arrival allows them to see a trend line. This will be the standard of care. We're looking at being able to build one of these for less than $10. We have an $8.50 bill of materials and assembly cost right now. Our intended sales price is $22. Our competition at the blood labs at LabCorp and Quest Diagnostics is ranked 26.
Wow.
The point of care handheld units, they sell cartridges at 17, but you have to buy the box. Typical box lasts 2 years, runs their cost per test up to about $32 to $38. The traction we have, we're working with overseas Second Mile. They're talking with AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Novartis. We work with Benioff Children's Hospital. They're looking at this product, changing how they perform medicine on small infants and young children. The World Health Organization, Doctors Without Borders, and Red Cross all have offered to do clinical trials for us, which is a huge benefit to our. We work with UC Davis on our animal testing. We've done quite a bit of interaction with them. When we look at using our devices compared to our competition, you see the red, how erratic the results can be. And so getting good, stable results, the doctor's basing his medication on it. This will be the first time ever where you don't have to remove the blood from the patient. As soon as you remove blood from the patient, the oxygen diffuses with the atmosphere, carbon dioxide starts to shift, temperature goes down to room temperature. All of those things affect the parameters of the final results. So being able to take the sample while it's still in the active bloodstream is a game-changing innovation. We have a sample port. When you have an arterial line, you can just put the sample port onto it, take the readings, dispose it. We can also configure that onto different syringes. We move into the future into indwelling catheters, which will give continuous readings instead of the episodic readings. Our competitive advantage is we have wafer packaging, we have sensor fabs, we have wafer level tests, and we have encryption and counterfeit protection. Very innovative technologies make this very difficult for somebody else to innovate with us. We're looking at year 2 of break even. We then move to 8 million units sold, and we double that every year. Arterial blood gas is where we're focusing coming out of the gate. That's the most frequently prescribed. That's the one that tells you that your lungs are working, that your doctors use this test more than any other test. That's why we focus on it. And it's the one that needs to be done immediate. I don't have a half hour to get the results back. If I don't have that sample down to the lab and the results done in 15 minutes, the sample's no good. Our timelines move to FDA submission in 24 months. We have clinical trials in 18 to 24 months. We manufacture our first 10K units in 24-month time period. Our KPIs is to do FDA submission, successful completion of clinicals in 30 months, sell our first 1 million units in 36 months, move to 8 million and double every year. We're basically a small company. We've funded this so far ourselves, and it's time to bring in outside people to make this thing grow and make it really happen. We're open A round for 12 million. We also have, you know, for smaller bridge funding, equity portions, we're offering convertible notes at 20% with a $4 million value cap. I'm the founder. Me and Gary are the basic founders of the company. And Tom is the VP of operations. We have a bunch of doctors on staff. We have a bunch of advisors for the regulatory compliance. We have people that have been in medical staff for their whole life, look at these innovations and just want to be part of it. We're convinced that this technology will change how medicine is performed around the world. Our big tagline is that when new medical advances are built, they're not just made for the wealthy people that can afford to go to Stanford. I have everybody in mind, and this is the first product that I actually be able to deliver on that promise.
Right. And what's your ask from Startup MV?
Yeah, right now we'd like to raise 500K in a convertible note. And, we offer great terms on it. We think we're one of the best investments that you'll see.
Okay.